Yes. All right, welcome to the weekly meeting, March 8th, 2025. Um, so basically all I'm saying is it's up to us to stay engaged, to stay motivated, and to figure the process out. If somebody is giving you information, always test that information, whether you have to go to a demo account or you have to back test or whatever the case may be, test the information and see where you are. See where you are as far as your understanding, and then you can employ that knowledge going forward. So, um, this is a good month or whatever. We're in the last month of the quarter. All right, and I know many people when I talk to you individually, you always tell me, "Well, I don't look at those charts, or I'm not way up there in those time frames." But that's cool. Do what you do. But I personally, I like to look up in these time frames because um, it helps me have a more broad understanding of the market and an understanding of what direction that I should be trading towards, right? Um, and that has helped me immensely. I remember I used to trade and I used to say to myself, man, if I just knew the direction, if I just knew the direction, I can put a lot size in small enough to where if I get my entry wrong, the market will catch up with me and um, and take me in the proper direction. So uh, one of the things that I've found is if I understand what needs to happen on the higher time frames, then I've gotten to a point where I can kind of read um, where we are and where we need to go to complete the puzzle on the higher time frames. Um, so here we are approaching the end of the quarter, right? If I look at this AUD USD chart, I understand that at the end of December we had a bearish order block. And what I wanted to see happen, and I'm just going to erase this because I don't even trade this trash, but you know, this is just an example. What I knew I wanted to see happen was I wanted to see price come back and tap into the golden zone. And most people that I talk to, especially on the one-on-ones, they'll be like, well, how do you know when it's going to buy? Like, can it just keep selling? Yeah, it can keep selling. And oftentimes that's exactly what happens. But I don't care. I don't care how far it continues to sell. All I look for is I want to see it turn around. And when price turns around, now I'm the daddy. I'm the boss because I know where the price is going. So I don't care how far it sells. Once it turns around and starts headed up, I have an understanding that price is headed to the zone. So I can trade the market in that direction. And, I could probably have a pretty high degree of success. So if I started trading this market up when it turned, that's cool. This right here is just a pullback. And, it's going to pull back on the higher time frames. So it's up to us to kind of understand this push broke these highs, and then you get a pullback. Where did it pull back? Right to our zone. Now it's taking off. So I would just have to find an entry to keep going north into at least the golden zone, perhaps up to the 78 where there's imbalance up in here. And then I can kind of piece the financial situation or the what do we call that? The fundamentals um, into the chart itself. So everybody knows that Trump wants a weaker dollar, you know. So he's probably going to do things to weaken the dollar. And if you look at the dollar index has been dropping, it's probably not on accident, right? So if I'm a trader and I'm trading AU and I'm trading to the north, I'm going to be on the right side of the trade. And it's just up to me to make sure I get the proper entry to take my trade to the north. So with that being said, um, depending on where we are at the end of this month, we got 3 more weeks left, right? Maybe we're up here, maybe price turns and starts to sell, and maybe we're selling. But there's also a chance that this price can buy up through here and we can turn this into a bullish order block, right? And if you're not an AU trader, maybe you're a GU or EU trader, right? So you're not looking at the AU chart, you're looking at the EU chart. EU is well into your zone on 3 month, right? So if you did your analysis on this 3 month chart, EU is in your zone. So if you're a if you're a EU trader, you've made plenty of money trading this back up. Whenever it crossed back over, you're up, over 500 pips, and you're probably looking at EU to go higher, right? Based on the fundamentals, and then based on what we got at the close of this past week, the 3 week candle close, we got a 3 order block, so we expected to push back and keep going. So if I'm trading or if I'm aware of the higher time frames, right? And I get it, many of y'all would never look up this high, but this has just helped me out, as a trader. If I'm aware of these higher time frames, and then I have a basic fundamental picture, then it gives me the confidence needed to trade in a certain direction. I think we talked a little bit last week the about the European Union um, having to spend money and boost their weapons now because President Trump said we ain't doing it no more. They gotta protect themselves after they got rid of all their nukes. So we know that they're going to be churning out the defense spending, which should drive up their GDP and all that good stuff. So the euro is probably going to get on a nice run. And you see that, in these charts. Those are for people who don't have the paid account. You're not going to be able to see like a 3 week order block, right? And maybe if you would, if you're not able to see this, you're not going to be privy to what's happening on these higher time frames. But on the higher time frames, we've had these crazy runs this past, I guess, these last 3 weeks. So we can expect probably a pretty decent pullback on all these pair that had these gargantuan runs over the last 3 weeks. And this will kind of put us into the driver's seat. So after the price pulls back and you get in for a long, you're kind of going with the flow of the market. I think all of these pairs are pushing to the top side, and once the market pulls back, if you're not a counter trend trader, I get it. You're not trading it back, but once it trades back to the base, you can take the buy up. And if you're a indices trader, then everything is crashing. So you're basically taking these trades in the opposite direction, right? We got a lot of issues, and all the double talk and the uncertainty bothers people who invest in equities. So one of the rare occasions where you have everything related to the U.S. go in the same direction. So the US dollar, if you look at those charts, it looks nasty. If you look at the SPX, the US 30, and the nasty DAC, they all look atrocious. So I would just trade the direction that the chart is giving you. And I would also lean on the higher time frames, because the higher time frames are less likely to tell you lies, right? The higher time frame is going to be the time frame that controls that move down through the lower time frames. So whatever you have to do to give you the picture that makes the most sense, and to me, there's a lot of clarity on the 3 week, and it just closed. But this gives the picture that you can trade back to the imbalance, and then to the new high, if that's what you're doing. But just trading it back to the imbalance is a pretty heavy pip count, I believe. All right, if I just trade this to the zone, it's 342. And that's without me looking in the zone and seeing where your imbalance is. So if the imbalance is down here, obviously the count is heavier. If the imbalance is way down here, your pip count is a lot heavier. Going into this week, if you're in the 100 pip group, you won't get a trade before Tuesday. We're not getting the trade before Tuesday. And I just want us to take notice of the difference. But for those of you who are just trading on your own, I think there are several opportunities, with the British pound and the euro that you can take advantage of both this week and probably the next 2 weeks until the end of the month. You guys have any questions? Y'all want to look at any pairs? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Brett.
I
Is it
actually like that EuroCAD though.
what's that?
That one looked good though. I actually like EuroCAD the one you was on.
Well, I like EuroCAD, but I think I like a couple other ones a lot better. Somebody said AUD CAD. I What is the attraction to this? Y'all know I'm like anti on these. If you're an AUD trader, man, ugh, ugh, you know, I'm like I'm like your boy. Uh, what did he tell Calvin? Your pair sucks. Calvin told him he traded AU. Hey, Misha, if you're looking for something easy, um, I don't know if you have a paid account, but those higher time frames, I think I showed you a bunch of easy ones. Look at the size of these order blocks. Let's just count the pips. Just to the golden zone. Trade it back to the golden zone at 374. Just trading back to the golden zone. 346. Trading back to the golden zone. 191. Trading back to the golden zone. Let me check this. maybe I don't have the proper golden zone for GA. $346 back to the zone. Y'all catch my drift, man. Like it's a if you're you know if you're if you counter trend this back to the zone, it's over 300 pips. Um, and if you don't counter trend trade, I get it, man. But if I were you, I would change my trading style because every trade that you pick up is a counter trend trade. You just need to go up enough time frames to see that it's a counter trend trade. But if 300 pips is a bad counter trend trade, I would say you have a bad trading style. 350. Come on, Brett. You can't make this up. So the opportunities are there in mass. The question is, are you going to be there with the opportunity? Um, so I think it's enough pair here to to test. If you don't trade GA, maybe you trade EA. If you don't trade EA, maybe you trade GU, um, so on and so forth. But there are, bruh, it's so many. It's so many of these trades available that this is crazy. What's the name of the indicator you are using? Indicator. Hmm. Um, what indicator are you talking about, Misha? The moving average? We have we got the market on our side. Or, we have the market lined up. All we have to do now is take advantage. GU is only 162 pips back to the zone, but these are just trades back to the zone. I'm not going down and looking for the imbalance. I mean, the trade can actually go all the way down here, and it probably will, because if you look at this is where the break of structure was. So that imbalance is the one it needs to come to. But because it's counter trend, I'm not telling you to hold your trade all the way through there. But if this goes all the way to this spot here, that's 265 pips. You're going to find, once you do your analysis and you break down and you go look for the imbalance that's in your zone, uh, those those pip counts are going to stretch out a lot further than just to your zone. But I don't know what your personal trading plan calls for, right? Um, if you are trading for a specific number, like 100 pips, you don't have any issue. Uh, you're going to collect those pips and then some. Uh, if you're just trading the move, a lot of times you can get yourself in a little bit more trouble if you don't trust your trade setup. Because many times, if you're trading these swing trades, your trade is going to come back to entry before it pushes to where it's going, and it's just like that because every time frame has to go through their little motion. Uh, Aiden, you said look at what? At EC?
Yeah.
I think
Oh, wait, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. I mean EA. I mean EA. Sorry.
I think I just showed the EA chart.
Okay.
Yeah, EA is to the zone. You got a bunch of it's a bunch of pips. Just to the zone is 360. You can't beat that. 360 to the zone easily. Easily.
Good question.
What's up?
Was you using the weekly or 3 weekly? 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I'm always going to go to the highest candle that was closed.
Got you.
Misha, what you said in you? Again, I would ask you, why? Why in you when you have these other beautiful trades? You gotta, you gotta, you, in my opinion, Misha, you have to chase the low-hanging fruit. Um, would you buy or sell in you? That's what I would ask you. Would you buy this or sell this?
So at this time, it looks like you are at, let's see, 1 week. Okay, so then it's probably going down.
Okay, I don't disagree with what you're saying, but the problem I have with that is um, every other one of these trades, you have an order block where it's selling down to. Where is this selling to?
It's so minimal. It's just, it's trying to keep a steady pace, but it's not really predictable.
I would say that too. So if I'm trading a USD pair, I'm going to wait for GU or EU to turn around because it has. Um, I don't even really like GU, but I like EU if I'm trading a USD pair because it has an order block. So I'm waiting for it to turn, and then I can sell it down to an imbalance that's in my zone. So you see that big imbalance right here? This is an easy target for me once once I know this is selling. So I can collect my 250 or my 185. Maybe you want to wait for it to break this low. I don't know. Whatever you guys confirmation is, I know many people want to see this. If that's what you need to see as a trader, then that's cool. You have to trade whatever your confirmation is. But this would likely be a 220 pip trade if this is the move it makes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But what I would, I guess what I'm trying to say is this has an easy target versus the NU trade to me um, doesn't. I mean, maybe I'm trading down to these lows. And if it goes down to these lows, it's not even a half of what I can expect. Or maybe it is right at half of what I can expect from the EU trade. Does that make sense?
I see.
So I'm not knocking your trade, and by all means, if you trade a specific pair and you just trade that pair, don't let me um, corrupt your thinking. But whenever I look for trade setups, I want the easy opportunity or the best opportunity that I can steal my 100 pips and go on about my week. And if a trade is only going 100 pips, then I'm not really interested because I have to trade that perfectly for 100 pips. Does that make sense? Misha, what have you been trading on a regular basis or here lately? I know you said you was back in the game. You was doing your thing.
Well, I've been going here and there. So I really want to commit this time now that I have some more money to commit to. And I wanted to kind of stick with a few. I like gold really for real. So that's really been working for me.
Well, hey, if you like gold and that's been working for you, then there's nothing wrong with sticking with that. Um, you've been having pretty good success with gold. Do you talk to your sister about your trades?
Yeah. Yeah, we go back and forth. She's been on a little break this past week, but we're gonna get back to it.
Okay, tell her I said do about 1,000 push-ups.
I got a question real quick.
What's up?
If you go back to EU, you used the 3 week. Why would you use the monthly since it was all bullish? Still,
Why wouldn't I use the monthly?
yeah, as opposed to using the 3 week.
Well,
Since
is because the monthly candle, is it closed? You
no,
talking about last month?
yeah,
Well, it's not that I'm not using it's not that I'm not using the monthly candle. All right,
okay,
let's talk about E. Let's talk about E user.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I understand the principle of it
Well,
and
hold on.
all of it. The 2 week.
So on this monthly candle, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the monthly candle that closed. You would have expected the pull down, right? And then the buy up.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Correct.
And you never even got a pull down. It just took off.
Yeah.
So
So
when you say I'm not using it, what does that mean?
no, I'm talking about the one. I'm talking about the current monthly candle. 'Cause you said you're using the most recent. You know
Well,
how you was going to the 3 week. I'm talking about that one as opposed to using the
so
3 week.
why
Or is it
wouldn't
the
I use
same?
this candle? You're asking me why wouldn't I use this candle?
Yeah, to get your pullback instead as opposed to the 3 week.
Well, how can I use this candle if it's not closed yet?
But isn't it the same information as the three
No.
week?
Okay.
Uh,
Look at the
that's
3 week.
that's what I'm
But
asking.
look at the 3 week. The 3 week, the candle is closed. So there's going to be a new candle that opens.
Yeah, I get that part. I understand.
So
I
what
was
do
just
you
talking about for the
expect to
pullback.
happen? What do you expect to happen when the new candle opens?
It's gonna pull back down to the zone that's down there.
Well, shouldn't it have a relationship with this candle right here?
Yes.
So it's a good chance that it's going to sell down, even if it doesn't sell all the way to touch. I'm betting that this sell down is going to be at least 100 pips. That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand that. I get that too.
So
Yeah.
you can't use a current candle. You can't use a candle that's not closed though, because an active candle can just keep buying, right?
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's all I'm saying about all of these 3 week candles are closed, and then we get a new candle to open. And on every one of these candles, there's a great deal of space between this wick, the top wick of this candle, and where this new one's going to open up. So if it just sails down and touches that wick, we've made our money, right? If it sails down and doesn't touch the wick, but if it just sails down to here, that's still going to be over 100 pips.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying? That's, to me, if it sells here, that's 232 pips. This is why the game is rigged in our favor, because we're just looking for 100 pips of that move. And you don't have to be the first one in this trade, right? You could wait. This thing could travel 100 pips down, pull back, and then you can get in the trade. And you still have the runway to make your 100 pips. If you're looking,
Yeah, because it's an imbalance right there too.
well,
Yeah,
exactly.
like, yeah, so I can pull back in the middle of that right
Yeah,
there.
it
Come
can
back
hit
up.
this imbalance,
Mm-hmm.
pull
Go up.
back, and
Bingo.
then you can get in the trade for a sell.
I feel that.
Like, yeah, the advantage is all us. And if you're patient and you just wait, a lot of people are going to try to jump in on that initial push. And it's tempting. I get it. Because that's 100 pips. It might push down 100 pips, bounce back, then you get your entry. This might happen on a Tuesday. And now you can ride down on Tuesday without your heads picking up.
GN for the 2 months in a row, for a month in a row.
Well, or GA or EA or like there are so many options. We don't have to pigeonhole ourselves in the Nadia because Tuesday we'll have a setup or we won't. Maybe we have a setup on Wednesday. But one of them days this week, one of these pair is going to give you the big joker. And whichever one does it, now you hop in that pair and you collect your loot. And then you get back on the sideline. Because the next week it'll be something different. Maybe one of these pairs shoots all the way down to the zone. And then we can get in for that buy up. Because once it gets to the zone, I think for the most part, all of them are bullish. So once it gets back to the zone, then you're trading north. Now you can get in and marinate. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it.
But it'd be nice if GU give us a bullish order block right here. Ugh. And EU. And then we can just start pushing up here to this imbalance. All right. Anybody got any questions? Brett. All right, good folks. Hey, if y'all in the 100 pip group, please drop your charts. Because we have a lot to get to. Hey, oil, Davida, did you want to talk about oil? All US all. Well, oil, I got oil as selling, but OBO, I would like to see it sell from this imbalance.
Sorry about that, Chad. I had got kicked off.
Oh, did you? Yeah, I'm bearish on oil, but as with any of those commodities or indices, the only way I would touch those trades is if they go to my area, and I would need oil to come into this imbalance.
That's what I was looking for. Was it going to buy up to that 4-hour imbalance and continue selling?
Yeah, I think it will. And if it didn't, it would do that sell without me.
I agree.
Let's talk about this. This is another pair. So USD Mexico, USD Mexican. This is the trade that I've been stalking or whatever. All right. It's rounding It's been rounding. We got a bearish order block here, and then we got another bearish order block here. I need for this trade to come back into this imbalance. And if it does, I'm getting in. And I'm just going to hold. It doesn't have to be a huge lot size because we can add to it, right? You can get in at a small lot size and you can just add as price pushes down. But if you believe, like I believe, that the dollar is headed to the downside, then once it buys up into this imbalance, we could take this trade and this can be our little carry trade. And when you look at the higher time frames, you realize that price came from here, broke structure, pulled back up. Now it should just sell down. We should at least make equal lows down here. So it's probably a good looking trade. I didn't say Nas and them are trash. I said they're going to the trash can. They're selling. EUR NZD. It's also going to sell. On the 3-week chart, all right? On the 3-week chart, they're a huge. That's 2 weeks. On the 3-week, it's a huge order block. So if you just fib that candle, get your zone, you can sell it back to that zone. If you drop down to the 4-hour and find your imbalance in that zone, it's even better, right? There's an imbalance right here. So you could probably sell it all the way down to 1.8537 pretty safely, maybe even a little bit lower. But you don't have to get in immediately. You can wait for it to push down to this imbalance because you're going to get a rejection. You see the break of structure. It's going to hit that imbalance. So it'll probably bounce back up and give you another order block, and that's when you can probably look to sell it. That would be the more safe avenue. That will ensure that it's not going higher. If you get in when the market opens or whatever, it might go a little bit higher. If you are in it and you're in a hedge, that's cool. You just wait for it to give you that second order block. It'll probably be on like Tuesday or Wednesday. That's what I would guess at this point. I don't know because the market hasn't moved, but that's what I would suspect or expect that would happen. Any other questions? Definitely, Mish. Definitely, because the trash is down. The trash can, it's going to the trash can means prices are dropping. And if you talk to or if you listen to MSNBC, they blame the uncertainty on the president y'all voted for. I'm not saying that it is, but I know y'all voted for that dude. I would look for a price to climb back up to this area. I would fib this. Again, if price doesn't go to if you're trading this and price doesn't go to your area and you're in one of these equities or commodities, you're going to get destroyed. So you always got to make sure that you're getting the price that you want before you enter a trade, because you can get wrecked pretty quick trading indices, especially if you're trading from an area that you shouldn't be trading from. So if you know price needs to come up to an imbalance and you have that imbalance in your zone and price starts selling from below the imbalance in your zone, it's probably just setting you up to get rinsed. So it's probably pretty important that you understand where your imbalance is, right? There's another one up here. Look at these relative equal highs. So you know, if I'm trading, if I'm expecting to trade one of these pair to the downside, I would probably find me an entry to trade it up first. That gives me a little bit of cushion uh, in case something bad happened to a brother. Any questions? Any questions? All right, good folks. Okay, do that. Send it to me on Discord. I'm excited too. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all's time. Let's get to this bag.